Well, it's the thing. It's funny you say is like with all those folks, them learning it. It's a lifelong process. But I feel that if you went into it, it's a beautiful thing, that lifelong process. But if you went into it with the wrong intentions, you would have lost it right out of the gate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So where are you guys right now? I mean, are you happy with the stage you're at and moving forward?
We're continuing to grow the whole time, So I joined this band 2 years ago. I came in and replaced Sage Cook, who had founded the band with the rest of these guys. And when he left, I've known everybody since the beginning, so I kind of always felt like an honorary member anyways. And he said, "I'm leaving, call Charlie." And they're all like, "All right, we're calling Charlie." and I was really excited, but a little nervous because I knew it was going to become, my full-time band, and I was playing with a lot of different people at the time, and there's fun things about that, but there's also challenges with that. And so I had wanted to be in a band that I could say, this is my band, I'm putting all my effort into it. And I could say after 2 years of working with these guys, just seeing how much we've grown together and how much everyone in the group has grown as individuals has just been amazing. It's really been a catalyst. And like I say, I think we sound as the best we've ever sounded.
Well, what is it about? Seeing this is a bluegrass festival, but you're not like, I don't want to pigeonhole the band and say bluegrass because there's a lot of things involved. But what is it about bluegrass for you personally that sets it apart from other genres?
I think it's the community of it. It's the idea that there's this body of music that a lot of people know, so you can really quickly get on the same page with other musicians because you know the standards. In the same way that there's a lot of jazz standards. Yeah.
And people always show that parallel between jazz and bluegrass.
Absolutely. And it's
alike.
It's a different language.
Yes.
Or it's the language of music, but it has a whole different set of kind of vocabulary. But
you gotta know your shit.
You gotta know,
Like Bobby Osborne told me one time, he goes, if you can't play, get off the damn stage. You can't hide behind anything.
And it's funny because, there's also, you have to have confidence, on one hand, but you also have to have humility. You have to be humble, but you have to be confident. And that's kind of the paradox of being a performer is well, you gotta be crazy to want to get up and, and project that kind of confidence on one hand, but at the same time that's part of the job. So finding that balance of staying humble while also kicking ass.
Well, on top of that too, it's like no one wants a solo hog, but no one wants dead weight in the band. It's that round robin type of thing, you know what I mean?
And you don't want to try too hard, but you want it to be effortless, but at the same time, man, it takes a lot of effort.
Well, I remember someone told me one time that the best bluegrass musicians, or pickers, or even guitar players, banjo, whatever, the best ones make it look the easiest.
It's true. There's a concept in music called effortless mastery. And the idea is that you study and you work hard, you practice, you spend the time in the woodshed, and then when it comes time to perform, it's easy, and in some ways you could do it in your sleep. Now the trick is that you don't want to get up there and just be like, I did this in my sleep, because there needs to be a little bit of struggle. You got to sweat a little bit.
Agreed. Well, there's this philosophy, I'm big into running, and I competed in college, and there was a Kenyan philosophy that said train hard, win easy. And I always feel that applies to anything in the creative arts too, especially with music. Yeah.
It's two different mindsets. You've got the practice, the learning kind of mindset, and then the performance mindset. Now, definitely when you're practicing, you should practice performing. You should practice as though you're playing in front of 10,000 people, even if you're in a room by yourself. You should try to simulate the way that's going to feel. Yeah. Or that being said, when you get up in front of 10,000 people, you shouldn't be like, wow, I'm in front of 10,000 people. It should be like, this is just another gig. I'm just getting up here and I'm going to play the best show I've ever played, whether it's 10 or 10,000 people. You always get up there and just give it your all.
So where do you go in your head when you're in the heat of the moment of performing, where everything's firing off real well, and you're just in that space?
I just don't think about anything. Maybe I'll think about what the next song is or what's coming up, but I'll look around at my bandmates. I'll try to make eye contact and maybe smile or have some connection on stage.
Thought about it, you might lose it, right?
If you think too much about it, I know there have been times where I'm taking a solo or something and I think, wow, I'm doing a great job, and the next thing I know, it's all over. So I try not to training myself not to think too much, but just to keep your ears open and your mouth shut, or your mind quiet and your ears open, and listen to what's going on.
It's pretty good life philosophy.
It is. No, it's transferable, and if you can't hear. If you're playing so loud that you can't hear the rest of your band, you need to play quieter,
Grisman and I were talking about this earlier, where you said that listening's a lost art.
Listening is so important. And he's...
On stage, he knows. And in the audience.
He knows.
Yeah.
It's true, and in the audience, too. But that's one cool thing about a bluegrass audience, or an audience that's receptive to bluegrass, but also elephant revival and the departure from bluegrass. Is that they're listening, and they recognize the discrete parts of the songs, that, oh, hey, there's this solo now, and that's happening, and things are changing around, and so they like, it's not that it's a short attention span, but it's just that it keeps, it captures and keeps the attention.
Yeah, it's a moving target, too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, with that said, though, a lot of the conversations I talk to with folks about bluegrass is it possible for traditional bluegrass? See, you're part of my generation. How old are you?
37.
Yeah, I'm 32, so we're all in the same kind of boat.
Yeah.
Where we have a big grasp of that old school, but also live in a modern world. And I wonder sometimes, playing devil's advocate, if traditional bluegrass could survive nowadays in the realm of there's so much influence of a million things coming at you as a musician. It's not surprising that the lines get blurred for our generation.
Yeah.
But then you talk to the older folks and they say, well, that's not bluegrass, or this isn't bluegrass, or that is bluegrass. And sometimes it might come just with getting older or whatever, but I wonder sometimes can this genre still hold on to its core moving forward?
Absolutely. And there are people who will carry that torch forward, and I'm very thankful for it. And I enjoy playing more traditional bluegrass, or even.
Well, you're providing that element to the band too.
Well, I mean that's something just from the instruments that I play that is a reason why Elephant Revival might even be called bluegrass, even though it's not.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of different things.
And so it's right. That's more the aesthetic.
Yeah.
But even then, I play the banjo, but at times my banjo sounds like an electric guitar, or maybe like a electric piano or something. I'm doing stuff with it that is very non-banjo.
Pedals have made it so much fun now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's a fun thing, and that's something that was a choice. That's a choice. That works in this band, but I wouldn't do that in every band. I wouldn't say that that's my thing. I'd say that's my thing in this band. But I love just playing all acoustic, just on microphones and no pickups. I love the sound of that, or even just no amplification at all. Just this, really, like what I said, about Winfield. What drew me to the music was just the acoustic sound of those instruments in a grove of pecan trees. Do
you think about that place a lot?
I do. Yeah, that's very much like a part of my musicality, and it it's in my heart for sure.